Hello, good morning, students. So, I welcome you all to this new class. And as you remember, we have been learning about minerals, how they are extracted, and which are the areas that they have been distributed. And for today, let us see what are the usefulness of these minerals. We speak so much about minerals, the availability of mineral, and so on. Let's see for what they are used, or what are the purposes or usefulness of these minerals. And as you know, minerals are used almost in everything for manufacturing and so on. So, if minerals are not there, we can say industries will be closed because all the industries depend on these minerals, one or another mineral for manufacturing something new. So, all these new products that are coming out from this factory, from the industry, they are all manufactured from using various minerals. Then we can say some minerals are so hard, like gems, hard stones. Then there are also a set of various styles for jewelry. There are different types of jewelry as well. And sometimes copper is another metal used in everything from coins to pipes. Copper is a mineral that is used or metal that is used for many purposes. It is used for making coin. You might have seen olden times. If you have seen all the coins, or at least in the pictures, you might have seen copper coins. So copper is a cheap metal, and therefore it is used for making coins. And it is also used even for making pipes. Copper pipes you might have seen, it is used for different purposes. The pipe that is used in the AC, room AC, and so is copper pipe. Then another metal that is used is silicon. It is used in computer industry. So this modern age we are completely depending on computers. So one of the mineral that is used for this computer technology is called silicon. Then it is obtained from quartz. Quartz is a mineral. So this metal that is used, silicon, is coming out from the mineral called quartz. So you can underline silicon is coming from or made from quartz. Then another important mineral is aluminium. And aluminium is obtained from the ore called bauxite. From bauxite, aluminium is made. And you know, aluminium is a very light metal. It is very light comparing to all the other metals. Aluminium is very light. Therefore, it is in high demand for making automobiles and aeroplanes. Then bottling industry. Most of the bottles, the glass bottles, you will see the cap is made of aluminium. So it is used for bottling industry. Then buildings, some of the buildings, windows, especially if they use glass, and so the sides of the glass is made with aluminium frame. Then even in the kitchen you will find there are so many utensils made of aluminium. Some of the pots which we use for cooking, they are all made of aluminium. So aluminium is very widely used for automobile industry, for aeroplane, then for house, windows, bottling industry, all that it is used. So it is very much has become part of our daily life. We find it difficult to manage our daily affairs if we are not getting aluminium things. Then let us see what are the conservation methods of minerals. How can we conserve minerals. So we said minerals are so important that in our daily life we use them for different purposes, even to make from paper, even and to aeroplane, all this from small to big we need one mineral or another mineral. Therefore minerals are very important in our life, and if you are not taking care of these minerals, if you simply misuse the minerals, it will get over, and then the future generation will suffer. They will not be able to enjoy the benefits, the facilities that we are experiencing now. Therefore, it is our duty, our responsibility to care for the future as well. And if you how can we care for the future? It is by conserving the minerals, by preserving the minerals. Instead of finishing up everything, use it very sparingly, use only what is required, and rest it for future purpose. Now let's see how to do that conservation. Conservation of minerals. Then minerals are a non-renewable resource. You can underline. So minerals cannot be renewed. If you use some minerals, it is finished, no more. It cannot be reused again, cannot be renewed again. It takes thousands of years for the formation and concentration of minerals. So the minerals that are formed under the earth, concentrated or gathered under the earth, does not come after a few years or hundreds of years, but it has taken millions of years in order to form these minerals under the earth. So even 10 generations are not enough to see the formation of minerals. It takes such a long time. The process is very slow. To get new minerals, we have to wait millions of years, and we will not be alive to see the formation of minerals. So the rate of formation is much smaller than the use of consumption. So the use of mineral or consumption of mineral is very fast. We dig it out, convert it and use it for making something. But the formation is so slow. It takes millions of years to form little by little. But using though is very fast. We finish it up very fast. So that is a real thing that we need to understand. If it is very easy to finish it up, everything, but to get a new mineral, we have to wait millions of years. So in the near future, the minerals will not be available if we finish up all the minerals that are available now. So it is necessary to reduce the wastage. So we should make sure that now there is plenty of minerals are there, let me finish up all this. If you think that way, if we have such kind of attitude, then we are doing great injustice to the future generation. Our forefathers were generous, they did not consume and finish up all the minerals. That's why we are able to enjoy in the present time. So that same concern we also should have for our future generation. Instead of finishing up all these minerals or wasting all these minerals, we must use them sparingly and keep it for future as well. And so one thing that we can do in order to preserve these minerals is recycling. So quite many minerals, it can be recycled again. We use it one time and something may be left out and it can be recycled again. It can be reshaped again. So it needs a little time, it needs little effort, and if you are ready to do that, then we can be sure that we can reduce the waste of use of minerals. So some of the minerals we can recycle it. For example, the iron pieces. The iron pieces that are laying down. If you go to a building site, you will find after cutting the iron rods, a lot of small pieces will be left out there. So we may think it is a waste, but if we can collect all those things and give it to the factory, or people may come for buying all the iron and so on, we can sell it to them and they will give you some money and they will take it to the factory. In the factory they will melt it again and make it new iron rods. So the thing that was a waste, it was laying down here and there, that is collected and recycled again and made new iron. So we can use so much of minerals can be spared. If you throw it away, then in order to make a new iron rod, we have to use more iron ore and waste the minerals. So we can spare so much. The same with plastic items. A lot of plastic items we may find scattering around in our house, old ones, the broken chairs, the broken toys. So all these things we can collect it and reach it to the factory, then they will recycle it and with that they will make new items. So in that way, whatever can be reused again, then we are sparing the minerals. So we need to have a clear understanding how these minerals are formed, how precious these minerals are. Only then we will be able to use it sparingly. As long as we are not aware about it, what happens? We never care, we never bother, we just lavishly waste the things and then we are doing great injustice to our future generation. So as students, you are going to face your life and make sure that you do not waste these minerals or materials that we use, and tell others also. That is also a responsibility. Not that just to be go on observing this law, but we also have the responsibility to teach others. Then we will be doing a great charity, a great service to the entire humanity. Now let us come to different resources. Let's see first about power resource. Power resources. So we know in this modern time everything depends on power to function the machines, to even to do our work. We need some power. Our body needs power, otherwise we cannot do any work. So we get our power from the food that we eat. The same way we need so much of power to function the machines, to cook the food and to run the vehicles. All that we need a lot of power. Even to burn the lights at home, to watch TV, we need power. So let us see what are the sources of power available. So we know without power we cannot think about living in this modern age. Otherwise we will be going back to our old age. So where people continue to do everything manually, they never use any electrical things, appliances, they just lived from hand to mouth and they were just surviving like that. But in this modern world, it is not possible to live that kind of primitive life. We need a lot of power in order to sustain our life, to go ahead, to achieve progress and so on. So we know there are different power resources are there. For example, there is electricity is there. There is electricity can be made from water as well as from coal. Then there is firewood is there. That is a power that we use for cooking food and so on. Then there is solar power is there, wind power is there. So different power resources are there. So this can be divided into mainly two. The power resources can be divided mostly into two. So which are those two? You can say one is conventional power resources, and another one is non-conventional power resources. Non Non-conventional power resources. So conventional and non-conventional power resources. Conventional means very easy. The common ones. The common sources of power that we use for quite many years that we have been using. That is called conventional. Common power resources that have been in use for some time. Then non-conventional means new methods, not old but new sources of power. That is called non-conventional. So let us see what is conventional sources of power. You can take your textbook, page number 30. So conventional sources of energy are those which have been in common use for long time. You can underline in your book. What is a conventional source of energy? It is the energy that have been in use, in common use for a long time. For a long time, people have been using this method of power. Then firewood and fossil fuels are the two main conventional energy sources. So what are the energy sources that people have been using for a long time? We can say firewood. From all the time onwards, people have been depending on firewood. So even now, quite a lot of people are using firewood for burning. So that is one power source that have been in use for a long time. So firewood. Another one is fossil fuels. Fossil fuel means the oil that we get from under the earth, like petroleum products, petrol, diesel, kerosene, gas, natural gas, LPG. No? All these are common. That is in common. So mainly these are the two sources of energy that come under conventional source of energy. Which are they? Firewood and petroleum products, or it is called fossil fuels. These are the two types of power sources, we can say, that come under conventional source of energy. Then there are also other ones are there. These are the two main. You also will come across other hydropower, water power, and the coal, all that will come across. So let's see about firewood. First let us see the first conventional source of power, that is firewood. I am sure you are all very familiar with firewood and you all will be using it at home. So let's see how firewood is helping us. So it is widely used for cooking and heating. So people use firewood for cooking food, and also it is used for heating, especially in the cold places where the room is very cold or people are very cold. What do? They light fire in the middle of the house or in the middle of the room, then they sit around. That way they use firewood for heating. And in our country, more than 50% of the energy used by villages come from firewood. So the villages, most of the people depend on this firewood for energy. So more than 50% of the people are using firewood. So very few are using electricity or LPG and so on. Majority of the more than 50% of the people are depending on firewood. That is in the village. In the town, the situation will be different. There, the firewood may not be available, but in the village, the forest may be there nearby. So people go and cut firewood, and they completely depend on this firewood. Then remains of the plants and animals which were buried under the earth for millions of years got converted by the heat and pressure of fossil fuels. So firewood, we are all aware about it, how we get, from where we can get, and so on. So now let's come to the another type of conventional power resource, that is fossil fuels. And most of us are not aware from where do we get fossil fuels, that is petroleum, diesel, petroleum products. So let us see from where it comes. So millions of years ago, a lot of trees were there, a lot of animals were there. So they collapsed, they died, and they remained in the earth, and they were covered with soil, and for millions of years they remained under the earth, maybe due to some earthquakes or maybe due to landslide. So they were buried under the earth. So and they remained under the earth for millions of years. And you know, under the earth it is heavy pressure, high temperature is there, it is like boiling. So these animals and plants that were buried under the soil, they remain under this heavy pressure, heavy heat. They remain there, then they got converted into fossil fuels. That is how the petroleum and the diesel that are formed under the earth. It is not just coming out from somewhere, but it is that living beings that were buried under the earth and remaining there for millions of years, slowly they are converted into fossil fuels, into petroleum products. So that is how they are formed under the earth. So fossil fuels such as coal, petroleum, natural gas are the main sources of conventional energy. You can underline, which are the power resources that are considered as fossil fuels. So all the petroleum products like petrol, diesel, kerosene, all that will come under petroleum products. Then LPG gas, natural gas, then coal, all these are coming under these fossil fuels. So even this coal that is available in certain places plenty, that is all got converted by the trees and other things that were buried for a long time under the earth. So which are the fossil fuels? We can say petroleum products, then coal, then natural gas. So these are the main sources which we call fossil fuel. Then the reserves of these minerals are limited. So these resources that are available under the earth, they are very much limited, because whatever is gone under the earth, it is getting converted slowly. It is not taking place very soon. It needs more than thousands of years, millions of years to get that what was buried under the earth to get converted into fuel. So we need to be aware that they are very much limited, not simply unlimited, not available in plenty, but they are available little only. So we have to be very careful. And the rate at which the growing world population is consuming them is far greater than the rate at the formation. So we said in the beginning, the rate at which we are using it or consuming it is much greater than the rate of formation. So formation of minerals take millions of years. Slowly they are formed. But the way we are using it, consuming it, is very fast. Within few years we can finish it. So both should be balanced. What is formed only, we should take it out for using. Otherwise we are using more and formation is very less, and after some time a situation will come, no more minerals are available, no more power resources are available. Then just imagine a situation where there will be no more petroleum products, no more cooking gas. So how are we going to run our vehicles? How are we going to prepare our food, cook our food? In your house, if there is no LPG gas, just imagine you will have to completely depend on the firewood or electricity and so on. So we should not just misuse it. We must be aware about the value of these power resources, and we must conserve them. We must use them very sparingly. So these are likely to be exhausted soon if we are not careful. So we need to make sure that we are very careful and we don't just finish them up, but we are using it very sparingly. That is how we can do justice to our future generations. So we shall wind up for today. In the coming days we shall see one by one the fuel sources, coal, petroleum and so on. So till that time, have a nice time.